Okay, I've called this session the game, and the reason I've called it the game is because so what I'm thinking then. I've noticed when I've watched these tapes back, I scratch my head a lot and touch my nose. I'm working, I'm not doing it. Yeah, the reason I've called this the game is because I talked earlier in one of the films about metaphors, and for me, sometimes I look at life as just a big game. It's a game, and people play all their different roles within that game, like a bit like a school playground. You've got different groups of people mingling together. You've got the bullies, you've got the good kids, the academics, all sorts of people, all going on in this big game. I think Shakespeare said as well, and that guy was pretty wise. He said about how life's a stage and we're all actors and we all play different parts, which I love. You know, I think Shakespeare's amazing anyway. But one of the things I wanted to look at today, I mentioned it yesterday, was the drama triangle. And for me, there's games going on within the games. You know, we're playing roles. Most of us are not even aware of the roles we're playing. Quite often when I'm working with people, especially around relationships, I end up showing them this, sort of called the drama triangle, which is basically, as you can see, it's a triangle, and on each point of the triangle there's a letter. You've got R, which is rescuer, you've got V, which is victim, and you've got P, which is perpetrator. So just quickly, let me explain how this works. Quite often, like I said, in a relationship, you'll have maybe somebody's not getting their own way, or they want to get their own way. They go into victim mode. They might not even be aware that they do this, but they go into victim mode. They can be very manipulative, very needy. What that tends to attract then is a rescuer up here. So the rescuer, I know in life one of my roles is a rescuer. I was a fireman. You know, one of the reasons I took that job on was because I wanted to help people. I wanted to save people. I'm a counsellor. I'm a coach. I'm a real rescuer. I know that. So I've got to be really careful sometimes, because victims will pull you in. And I've discovered working in therapy that quite often when the victims pull you in, sometimes they don't want to be saved. And quite often they move along the triangle. They move to the P stage, which is the perpetrator. So you've gone in there trying to help people as a rescuer, and then quite often, if you're not careful, you end up moving from the R to the V, and then then the victim has moved to the P. So now they're having a go at you, putting you in the V, and sometimes it takes somebody else to come along and rescue you, and we end up going around all the points of this triangle. So if you think about your own life and your own relationships, there'll be times when you're doing the rescuing, there'll be times probably when you go into victim mode, and there'll also be times where you're having a go, you're the perpetrator, you're attacking, you might be attacking the rescuer, you might be attacking the victim. So all I would say to you, I mean, this goes into a lot of depth, all I would say to you is be aware of what roles you're playing, and be aware of the roles that the people around you are playing as well. I would say watch out for victims, because it's a very manipulative role, very powerful role. But also if you're a rescuer as well, you need to be careful, because not everybody, like I said, not everybody wants to be rescued. Some people just want to be left alone and wallow in their self-pity or whatever, and they might be all right there, to be fair. And also be careful with being a perpetrator as well, because, you know, for me, one of the examples of that is helping people, giving people advice when they haven't even asked for it. They haven't asked for your opinion, which can get you into trouble as well. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Like I said, life for me, one of the metaphors I use is life's a big game, but there's games going on within the games, and one of the examples of that is the drama triangle. So, you know, like I said, look out for your own role within this triangle. Try and spot it happening in your relationships. And once you spot it, you can start working with it. You can stop it, but you've got to see it happening first. And it will be going on in all relationships to some extent, not just your personal relationships. This goes on at work and stuff as well. You know, you might see your boss giving someone a telling off. You go in to, you know, defend them, and the boss and the person getting told end up turning on you, and you end up feeling like a victim. So that's how it moves around this little triangle. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow, and thanks for watching. Thank you.